Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got all this scrap left over from our box build, and I want to do something with it instead of throw it away or turn it into kindling, which it probably should be kindling, but I'm a hoarder and I can't get rid of things. So let's make something with it. Hi there. So, what was I talking about? Yeah, we're gonna do something. Okay. Hi there. I'm feeling much better today. I'm still a little going on, but my energy's back. I feel great. Magnesium spray. Who knew? Snake oil type stuff.
Chemical X.
Spray it on you. It burns like, you know, the devil's coming out of you, but I gotta say it works. I felt like death. Sprayed that stuff on the next day. Felt great. I don't know. It could just be my head. I don't know.
I have exorcised the demons.
But anyway. I got all these scraps, right? They're not a lot. But they're all, I went through them. I have more, but like these are all the like, not end grain, but what's the word? Not long, yeah, long grain. Yeah. So these are all the long grain pieces that I have left. Some have live edges, some are super thin, some are thicker, some are 1/2 inch, some are like whatever that is, you know, stuff from like where I cut off all my mistakes. So I started thinking like, what can I do with all these? I have never made a cutting board before. I don't think this is the greatest material to make a cutting board out of long grain. I think you're normally supposed to make it out of end grain. I don't know, I could be wrong. I feel like butcher blocks are all end grain. But I don't know, maybe cutting boards are long grain too. We'll see. And I don't think it's going to be very thick. You know, some of these are fairly thin, you know, by the time I plane them flat. I don't know, but you know, it'll give me something to do with them. So I figured if I'm going to make a royal mistake, I could bring you guys along for the fun. So let's make a cutting board today, maybe. Let's do it. Can you tell that I've had too much coffee already today? Okay, so to get started, first thing I'm gonna do, I wanna panel all these things up in a way that looks good. So I'm gonna try, I don't have like the perfect even amount, but what I'm gonna try to do is like alter them from like ash to walnut, ash, walnut. So it has like a bit of a pattern to it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go through all of these and get a flat edge on one side of them. So I'm going to plane them all flat, and then I'm going to panel them up, and then I guess go through and try to panel them down or plane them down the other side. But like stuff like that is probably not going to work out too well, right? So I've got to come up with a better idea. I'm going to find my shortest piece, and I'm going to make sure I rip all these down to roughly that height. Then I'm going to panel them all up, and then we'll figure it out from there if I cut out of shape or something. So let's get at least started with getting a flat edge on all these, and then we'll go from there. Man, you're off to a great start here, Matt. when I do all this on all Look at that lighting, beautiful. Okay, so I did a whole bunch of planing and I got this. They are not obviously the same height, but I've got them close to the same height. I basically made sure that one of all the sides was flat and square so that I could clamp them up, glue them up, and make this panel. Then I'm gonna cut one side flush. Obviously this is gonna be a small cutting board, right? And while planing this, I went through and contemplated cutting circles out of these, 2 circles, and making them coasters. But I'm gonna stick with it. I found these 2 little last pieces. They're a little narrow. So once I plane everything, once I get it glued up and I plane it all flat, it's gonna be maybe a little less than 1/2 inch thick. I don't know how much of a cutting board this is going to be. Kind of more of like a cutting board to throw backpacking, to throw in my backpack and, like, you know, cut up some food and stuff. Might throw it in the firebox kit or something. I don't know. I'm kind of winging it. I may still make these into coasters. I don't know. We'll see once I glue them up. But basically I'm going to glue this up now and get it glued up, clamped up, and make a panel out of it, and then we'll go from there. Is my microphone plugged in? I hope so. All right, just run a bead of glue. Squeeze out, everything's got good. Squeeze out. Yeah, that looks real good there. Okay, so we're pretty flat. I mean, you're not the greatest, but it's flat-ish to start with. We're gonna plane all that off and make it flat once we get this dried up. And we'll figure out what we can make out of this thing. It's gonna be a tiny little cutting board, but we'll make it cool. We'll make a little handle in it and it'd be kind of neat. All right, we're out of clamps. I kind of like half-ass planed one side a little bit just to kind of, this was the bottom side of the clamps. So I just kind of planed it, get the glue marks off, kind of flatten it out a little bit. I've got a little bit of a divot right here where the pieces kind of dip down. So I'm gonna eventually have to plane this down to that level to get it flat because this is my good side. But it's flat enough that I can lay it flat, flip it over now, and start planing down this side, which is, you know, a mess. So, but I did strike a line across here. So before I plane the other side, I don't want to plane all this extra bits. I'm going to cut this off, and that way we'll have a nice rectangle to work with. All right, so I squared off the one side, just gonna square off the other side now. Cut that down, and then I'll have something flat to mount into my vise. All right, we've got it squared away. Everything is perfectly square. I put it on the shooting board. I planed it down. We are about, let's see, we ended up being exactly 1/2 inch thick. So we're 1/2 inch thick all the way around. That means we planed 1/4 inch off of most of this because I think a lot of it started about 3/4 inch. So we're about 1/2 inch. We still have just the slightest little divot here. And I could plane everything down if you want it just to be a rectangle like this. You could plane everything down nice and smooth and probably, break all your edges and stuff and oil it. And you've got a cutting board. But I want to put a little bit of a design. It's not that big, right? It's just a small little cutting board. So I don't want to go too small with it, but I think I do want to cut some kind of a little shape in it, maybe put a little handle on it. So let's do that now. Kind of something like this. I'm going to kind of curve the edges, and then over under here, we'll do like a little gentle swoop, a little circle, curve it around, bring it up and curve it around. We'll cut this off. This is where our kind of bad thin side is. So we can get rid of that, and then maybe I'll bore like a hole in here, round that out so you can kind of hang it if you want. And that still gives quite a bit of room to, chop small things on. And then we'll round everything off. So I'm gonna get the coping saw out and we'll cut off a majority of this waste, and then we'll come through with some, probably a rasp and maybe some files, and we'll kind of smooth it all out. As low as we can in the vise. Nice. Get the rasp, smooth this out. We've got our outside edges cut. We've got the top of our handle cut. Now we just got this big cutout to do. I might cut this, cut that out with our tenon saw or a crosscut saw. I'll cut that out, and then that way it's a nice straight edge, and then all I gotta do is with the coping saw is just these curves. Get some. All right, we've got our shape cut out. I think this is like the perfect size to like grab your hand on, and you got like a little bit of a handle to kind of curve there, nestles in your thumb pretty good, and you can grab it. It's comfortable, and you still have enough space to be able to cut on. And it looks nice too. I think it flows nicely. So I'm gonna cut a hole in this now, just so that I have something to hang it off of if I want to hang it somewhere. At camp or something, I want to hang it up in the, off a hook or something, whatever. Or even like a finger hole, if you want to put your finger through it or something. I don't know. But I'm going to drill a hole through it. All right, got a piece of scrap underneath here. I got a 28 mil Forstner bit kind of chucked up in the drill. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, to be honest. Eyeball roughly around center. Got his finger hole. Nice. Okay, all the holes are sealed. The hole is drilled, it's rounded. I've just kind of finished planed everything just to kind of smooth everything out. But with the way everything glued up, there's still a little bit of tear out here and there. So I'm gonna take this outside now. I'm not gonna bring you guys along, it's just sanding. But I'm gonna take the orbital sander to it and sand everything and kind of round all the edges over. Make it just a little softer feeling in the hand and smooth everything out. Make sure everything is nice and flowy. All right, we're branded, we're sanded, we're curved, rounded, everything is feeling good in the hand. I think now it is time for some cutting board oil. All right, so if you don't know and you're using making your own cutting board, you need a special cutting board oil. You can use mineral oil as well, but you need a food safe oil essentially. So this one I've had for a while, the label's all peeling off of it, but it's Clark's cutting board oil. It smells really good. It smells like oranges, but it's basically food grade mineral oil. It's got some orange lemon extract in it and stuff. So it smells good and it leaves a good finish or nice finish on it. So basically I just put a little bit of oil on and spread it around and let that grain soak up all that oil the best you can. I'm probably gonna put several coats of this on. I'm gonna let it soak, kind of wipe it off, and then let it soak again, put another coat on, etc. So stuff's all food safe, so it's fine to just get it on your hands if you want. If not, use a spreader or a rag or whatever you want to do. But you want food safe if you're going to be using this to actually cut food on. Stuff like boiled linseed oil, I don't know. I think I heard something at some point that boiled linseed oil is safe after it dries, but it takes a long time for linseed oil to actually dry, and I don't know if that's really true, but I know like the oil itself, it can get in your food and stuff, so you don't want that. I would stick to a food safe mineral oil, to be honest, than trying some other type of oil. best to play it safe. All right, this is the final cutting board, oiled, branded. I'm not thrilled with the brand. I should have thought about what it was going to look like on top of walnut when it was oiled. You kind of lose the letters and it's not great, but whatever. It is what it is. It's still branded, whatever. And we got a really nice feeling, cool little 1/2 inch thick, lightweight cutting board that I can now take camping or throw in the kitchen, or maybe I'll give it as a Christmas gift. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I really didn't think that far ahead. It was just I wanted to use all my offcuts to make something. So we made an offcut cutting board. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty happy with how it turned out. It still smells good because it's got that orange and lemon oil in it. But really thrilled with how it turned out. I'm happy with it. So that is it for today. If you like this type of content, subscribe down below, give me a thumbs up, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.